video is mainly going to be a very light-hearted ramble. I think I'm going to start with telling you about a mean friend of my mom's. And then I'm going to tell you what I did this week, okay? So, first of all, before we get into all that, I just want to let you know that I'm super grateful for every one of you that watches my videos and leave you very nice comments. The other day I got this one comment from this girl who tells me that she enjoys my growing up in China video, that storytime video, and she thinks that I deserve more subs. But from my point of view, I'm super grateful you said that. I don't really mind that I don't have many subs because I am doing this as a hobby, and the way I think of it, if I'm giving a presentation in class, I'm also just talk to maybe 20 to 30 people. So if 100 people or 200 people clicked on my video and watched them and like the video, then I'm happy with that. Also, I know that I tend to do a lot of rambles, and that's because I personally enjoy these videos more than role plays. I usually click on ramble videos. That's why I also very like Mauve ASMR's channel a lot. She is just an interesting person to listen to. I'm not sure if I'm, that interesting to listen to, but I just think, this type of videos also have its audience, right? So I know, for example, the video I did, the doctor's checkup roleplay, has over 900 views now at this point when I'm filming, and that's apparently what most people enjoyed. But I also think I should be doing things that I enjoy personally, since it's just a hobby and I'm already having a lot to do for uni, and I work part-time, and so if I'm not shooting videos that I like, then there's no point, basically. So with all that out of the way, we can start with the lighthearted ramble. So today's story basically is about my mom and her interaction with some of her best friends, which I find quite interesting and funny from time to time. So my mom is a high school history teacher. She's a high school history teacher in China, and a lot of the things people say about teachers are kind of mean and rude, but there's also a little bit of truth behind all those things people said. For example, someone said to me, because teachers are always with people that are basically having less knowledge and less experience in life. That's why they are used to being always right. That's why a lot of my doctor friends say that teachers are not the best type of patients. They are quite exhausting, for doctors. But that's kind of true with my mom as well. She actually has the nickname at my house, in my family, as Mrs. Always Right, was a woman at the age of 55. So yeah, so my mom is 49 and she would also be retiring in a few years. Yeah, people retire super early in China. And that's because at the time, I think back in 1949 when the government made the law for retirement and stuff, people's living expectancy is still very low. So I think at that time, I could be wrong, but that's what my dad told me. My dad told me that at that time, people's living expectancy is around 50 or 55. That's why they made the law that you can retire at 55. So, they don't need to give you any retirement, what is called, they don't have to give you any money afterwards, basically. That's a bit shocking, I guess, because nowadays I think China also has a life expectancy of 78, 79, or maybe 80. I don't know, I haven't checked that. But you have to know that back then there were so many natural disasters and people are just starving, and that's why the life expectancy is so low. But I realized that I'm not on my topic at all. Yeah, right. Anyways, back to my mom and her friends. So, this one friend of my mom is a Chinese teacher, so we were just call her Cindy, okay? Because it's also started with the C. Okay, so my mom also has two other friends who are a little bit older. One is a physics teacher, so we were just call her Philly. Okay, I just call her Philly. And the other one is an English teacher. We will just call her Elena. I don't think in today's story Philly and Elena would play a big role. It's mainly about Cindy and my mom. So this week my mom went for a walk with Cindy, and Cindy said to my mom, "So your daughter is stay in Germany. What are you going to do? You are going to be all by yourself later." Because my mom is younger than my dad, so, and women just usually live longer than men, so she's like, "Yeah, you're basically going to be a very, very lonely old woman, but all by yourself." And my mom was like, "No, I don't think so. I think if my daughter stayed in Germany, she would bring me to Germany with her, and she would put me in a nursing home." And Cindy said to my mom, "But you are not a German citizen, so it would be super expensive for you to stay in a nursing home." And my mom was like, I was so annoyed at that point when she said that to me. And she told me that. And I was like, that's actually a valid point. I've never thought about it before, but it's actually pretty expensive here, even for Germans, to send their relatives to a nursing home. But I said to my mom, we're not going to do that. You're going to stay with me. We are going to find somebody to take care of you, okay? I said that to her. My mom was like, "You know what? Cindy also said I can't speak German, so if I'm in a nursing home, I cannot even ask for a glass of water." So she said it in a very, has a son that's basically at the same age as me. That's why she's like in a very competitive mode with my mom all the time. And when I was little, I think my grades were better than Cindy's son, but actually eventually her son gets very good at school as well. Yeah, Cindy is not a bad person by heart, but she just likes to kind of bring my mom down a little bit from time to time. I remember when I was learning German, the year I was learning German before I came to Germany, I actually got into the best school in my city, right? And I didn't go to that school. I basically just studied German the whole year as a preparation for going to a German high school. And my mom's friend, she said to my mom, you know, you're not even sure if this would all work out. Maybe the language school is fake. Maybe they just want your money and your daughter would never go to Germany. So my mom was quite worried. My mom worries a lot. So she was thinking if what Cindy said has truth in them, you know. But as you can see, everything all works out, so it's all fine, right? So that's the small story about my mom and her friend. Now let me tell you what I did this week. So basically, I have a very exhausting week this week because we need to work in the family doctor's place for 2 weeks. And the drama already started when we need to sign up for doctor's office, right? To sign up for Hausarztpraxis. I'm not sure how to say it in English, so I'm just going to call it doctor's office. So what happened is, because this week, Thursday, it's actually Winston, so it's a holiday, and a lot of the doctor's offices, they are closing. They are just having a holiday, right? So for the 20 people that need to do this thing that we call Blockpraktikum, there are 20 of us, right? And there are only 8. Okay, there are only 8 doctors' offices in the city. All other doctors' offices are in some very random, remote area that you cannot even go to by public transport. So what happened was, the university told us that we could sign up for it, for where we want to go on a certain date, and it's basically 7 a.m. and we should just get up early, and who get up early get doctor's office that's close to us. But my classmates, they actually talked in the WhatsApp group. They're like, okay guys, let's just discuss beforehand who wants to go to which doctor's office, so that nobody gets like disadvantages, I guess you could say. But unfortunately, when they did that, I didn't look at my phone because I was doing another course in my uni that's voluntary. Anyways, I did that course. I went back home. I was exhausted and didn't check the phone immediately. nobody answered, which I completely understand because if they want to have a doctor's office in the city, that must mean they also don't have the possibility to, go outside of the city to do this internship. So on the next day, I called the lady that is in charge of coordinating students and where they go, So I called her, I told her the whole situation, and I told her there are more than 8 people in my group that don't have a car. And the lady basically said to me, "That's not my problem." Okay, that's not her problem, she basically said, and I was really mad at that point, but I still tried to stay very civilized, right? So I told her, "Look, I know another family doctor that I can go to because I already did an internship at her place, and I can have a good, not a friendship, but I know her pretty well. I think she would take me in for this period." And the lady said to me, "Oh, I'm sorry, it wouldn't work because it has to be a doctor's office that the professor himself personally approved of." And I think this is just such nonsense because, what should I not be approving? And honestly, I'm now doing, the internship in another doctor's office. So, from what I can see, there's nothing that there is in this office that the doctor I know doesn't have, So, yeah. Anyways, she said no, that would not work. And then I told her, "But, I'm chronically ill. So I'm not going to get into the illness here, but I told her I'm in therapy a lot and have to go to the hospital a lot myself, so it wouldn't make sense to me to travel back and forth just for this stupid internship." And she was like, "Oh, how many people always came up to me with excuses. Some people say they have a child. That's why they don't want to go to a praxis outside of the city." And I'm thinking like, excuse me, but having a child is a thing that is very, is a valid excuse. No, it's not excuse, it's a fact. And shouldn't they take that into consideration, that it's hard for moms or dads with kids to, be going to some doctor's office, and that's in the rural area that they need to drive 40 minutes. What if they need to drive the kids into, to kindergarten and stuff like that? Anyways, it blew my mind how unreasonable they are. And in the end, she told me just bring her the, the medical record that proves that I do have this medical condition that I have. So I give it to her, and in the end, she gives me a place that's that's pretty close to me, basically. So I was thinking that's just so uncomfortable, the whole situation, because as we all know how difficult it could be in Germany to see a doctor. What if, I have some chronic illness and I just have all the symptoms and nobody gives me a diagnosis yet. For example, if she has like this problem with digestion, with pain in the abdominal area for a very long time, and they need to give her a gastroscopy, Magenspiegelung. So she waited for almost 6 months for that appointment, and up till that point she didn't have the diagnosis what she has, right? What if it's this type of situation? She's in so much pain and don't want to travel a lot for this internship, and she would get denied by this woman. So I just find the whole experience to be really draining. But anyways, I was doing this internship thing from 7:30 a.m. to 12:30, and the doctor, she's really hardworking and she's a really nice person. So one day I asked her, "Oh, so you already started work at 7?" And she told me, "Actually, I started work before 6 a.m. And how they work in that place is she sees patients from 7 a.m. to 12:30, essentially